Rightio, so we're just a couple of days out from Christmas, so I wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Please stay safe out there on the roads and enjoy your families and friends. So the year's just flown by, we're all pretty much dusted now, so I just thought I'd throw this one together for you guys. Just to show my appreciation throughout the year and from the start, really, everyone from subscribers, viewers, Patreon support. It's been far and above any of my expectations, and it's just really humbling to have so many guys on Patreon, guys and girls, sorry. Guys, I mean just everybody that's on Patreon. Love your support, doesn't matter what level it is. If you can afford it, you're making a massive difference to the channel and to how I can operate going forward. So believe it or not, I've actually cut back on the welding side of things so that I can concentrate on the hunting business and making content. I couldn't do that without the financial benefit of Patreon. I do make a tiny little bit of money from hoodies and your ad revenue from YouTube, but it is such a small scale compared to what Patreon support is that without Patreon, none of this can happen. So thank you all for dipping into your pockets and helping me along the way. Appreciate it. It's a massive support for such a small channel. Actually, I have compared to a couple other much larger channels, and with the amount of subscribers that I have on YouTube, the amount of views that I get a month on YouTube, my Patreon support is actually well above, like what you'd say the average for the size of my YouTube reach. Trying not to do any editing on this video, so if I mumble a bit, you just have to put up with me. But yeah, anyway, everyone that's been on Patreon and have left, that are still there, thanks so much for your support. Now there's a massive following now. It sort of runs in the 240, 250 bracket. I try to give away a pretty good prize every 50 that jump on board. So I gave away the R&M helium knife at 250, then we sort of fell back to 240 for a bit, but we're sort of somewhere in that 245, 246 bracket at the moment. Don't forget, if we get to 300, which is not hard to get there if a few people jump on early in the year, Lowa owe me a pair of boots, a pair of Rangers. They're going to be given away to someone through a competition on Patreon. So that's nearly a $650, $700 pair of boots. So if you know any of your mates that aren't on Patreon, get them over, get this up to 300, and then we'll run a competition and we'll get a pair of boots in the mail to someone. So that's a massive prize. And when the channel grows, the prizes will only get better. I'm sort of thinking for around the 500 brackets is going to be a hunt. And it'll be a hunt every year if we can get up to 500. So I don't know, there's a pretty good incentive there to get a few people over. Now, I've got a bit of gear here because I get quite a lot of questions about the gear I'm running, and most people sort of know, but brand wise, there's a few things that people might know. That I've been running a lot of this gear for a long time, and I have a really good appreciation to what sort of quality you need to get the durability out of the gear that you buy, so that it lasts. Because everyone knows there's nothing worse than cheaping out on something and you get up the bush and it doesn't work for you, or it doesn't last. So I'm not much of one for not spending on hunting. Hunting's my hobby, it's what I do. It's actually now a massive part of my income, so it is tax deductible, so that makes it a little bit easier for me. But I also have a lot of sponsorship and people just willing to sort of throw a bit of stuff at me. In saying that, any of the advice I do give is purely from experience. I'm not going to talk up some product if I haven't used it. If I haven't used it and abused it, it's not going to be recommended to the point where I'm going to put my name to it. So nearly everything here has been through this season, if not for a couple of seasons, but there is a little bit of gear here that I have swapped out from last year and I want to just talk about. So real quick, and I know I crap on about Lowa boots all the time, but I did run the Lowa High Country GTX, Evo GTX this year. And I'll have to say, from the minute I put these on, I loved them. Now I did have the Tibets prior to these, which when you look at them, they are almost identical apart from the lace system and a little bit different rand. The treads are the same, the fit was the same, and like the Tibets are an awesome boot, don't get me wrong, and I think the Tibets are probably a little bit more rugged, will handle maybe some harsher terrain better, but these boots are literally the most comfortable boot for the stiffness of them out of the box I've ever put on, and I ran them all year with no dramas. They've seen, I don't know how many, probably a couple 100 Ks in the bush this year. The treads showing signs of that, but for the average bloke, they're going to last practically a lifetime before you you need to buy a new pair. Like, they're going to last several seasons anyway for the average person. I think I did 10 or 11 backpack trips last year, plus a few other hunts. So if you are in the market for a solid pair of boots, any of the Lowers are good, but I highly recommend trying to get your foot in one of these. The comfort level straight out of the box is off its head, and the features of them are just awesome. The Tibets are probably going to wear a little bit better because it doesn't have this stitching down here near the toe, which if you're a little bit gimpy legged like I am, I tend to drag this left foot a little bit. But after a season, I can't see enough wear or damage to the leather or stitching there to worry me at all. I think the average person's still going to get 3 or 4 years out of these boots. But anyway, get yourself into a pair of Lowa boots if you're in the market. Now, you will see a lot of other gear here, and there's a sort of ongoing theme. Sea Summit. I did reach out to them a while back, but yeah, they weren't too interested, probably because of the conflict with hiking and hunting. I don't know, but I run a heap of their gear. Their gear is awesome. The company's based in Perth. Clearly, the stuff's made overseas, but the quality of it, obviously, their quality control is awesome. So this year, I did manage to get a few more dry bags. Because I'm hunting so regularly, quite often I'm getting the weather up the bush, and I just got to be prepared to be wet. But you don't want any gear to get wet. So these dry bags are exceptionally light. This one here is 13 litres. It's called an Ultra Silk. It's practically see-through. 100% waterproof, light as, doesn't add anything to your pack weight. And yeah, I've actually got another one here as well. I think it's a slightly bigger one. Yeah, it's a 20 litre. So I've brought these to put your clothes in, food, also your sleeping bag and that sort of thing. Your mat, if it's going to be really wet, I like to have everything in a dry bag. Just saves, like my packs that I'm using are 100% waterproof too, but like when you're getting somewhere, it's easier just to have it all in a dry bag. You just 100% guaranteed nothing's going to be wet. I saw this in a shop in Katoomba in New South Wales in the Blue Mountains. I thought, yep, I need one of them. So it's a little first aid kit. It's got a little window on the side so you can sort of see what's in there. I'm running a couple of snake bite bandages and tourniquet and whole band-aids and antiseptic and all sorts of stuff in there. But yeah, just a little dedicated bag so you can sort of know, oh yeah, where's my little orange bag? Don't want to forget it, especially when I've got clients with me. Excuse me. But another Sea Summit product is this compression bag for sleeping bags. Now I've never ran one because I thought that the sacrifice for weight, I used to just run in a dry bag, but this thing's stupid light. I can't remember how much it weighs. I don't know, it's not much. and it's one of those ultra seals as well. Excuse me. But it takes like 14 litres or 13 litres down to like 4 or 5, and like when you chuck my Seed Summit sleeping bag in it, yeah, it just gets a little bit further than what I was getting it just in a dry bag. So the little bit of weight I'm prepared to sacrifice for the smaller size of my sleeping bag once it's compacted, because it just gives me a bit more room in my backpack. So check them out, they're pretty awesome, fully waterproof, so your bag's going to be nice and dry when you get to where you're going. So on the subject of bags, I ran this bag this year, so this is a Cedar Summit Spark 3. Yep. And it's obviously in the long size because I'm 6'4", but its numbers are comfort -2, lower limit -8, and extreme -26 Celsius. So I ran this all this year, and we had some pretty cold temps up the bush. When it was going to be cold and wet, I ran the Survive Outdoors Longer Escapist Extreme, which I don't think they make anymore, but they have got another model, bivvy bag, because it adds about 5 degrees to the bag, and I didn't have any dramas. Once you get into the sort of spring, I ditched the bivvy and just run this under the fly, and the last couple of hunts I actually slept in this with just like it would be a what are they called? Not sleeping bag, what's the other one? No, I can't remember. But pretty much fully unzipped all the way to my feet and slept out of it really, because it was that warm up the bush. You know, temps are only getting down to 7 or 8 degrees. Yeah, if you zip yourself up in there, yeah, you end up cooking yourself. But in the real cold weather, I always wear 2 pairs of socks, and in between the socks I run hand warmers. Now I know on the packet it says not to do it, but I've been doing it for a while now and I haven't seen any dramas with it. So if you suffer from cold feet like I do, like I don't have awesome circulation to my extremities, so I do tend to get cold hands and cold feet, and just doing that technique, yeah, lights out, sleep really good. So there's nothing worse than having cold feet when you're up the bush. So 2 pairs of socks, hand warmers in the middle, in between the socks, just to keep it off your skin, and yeah, happy days. Another Cedar Summit product is the 10 pegs I've got here. Been running these for years, and I broke one, and well, I didn't break it, I severely bent it, and so I straightened it and broke it. So then I tried to weld it, and I can weld, and this was difficult, but I did manage to bog it up, and I kept it going for pretty much all season, and then it broke on me again. So I'm a peg short actually, so I need to get on and buy a couple more pegs. But these pegs are like little steel picket ones. I can't remember what they actually call them. It's like a ground something or other. Anyway, if you search them up, they look like a little steel picket. Awesome pegs. I couldn't say that they let me down. I was standing on it and I bent it. First time in probably 5 years I reckon I've had these. And yeah, anyway, I welded it, fixed it, and then it broke again. But it broke in a different spot, believe it or not. But anyway, more Cedar Summit, so more dry bags. Love my dry bags. Cannot recommend their, is it Escapist? Yeah, Escapist 3x3 fly, lightweight. It's been with me everywhere. It's never let me down. Love that thing. If you're the kind of bloke that, or person that like doesn't mind having a bit of air on you, that's the way to go. It's super lightweight, super flexible. You can pitch it anywhere. Yeah. Now, this one I ran this year. So my big fat sleeping mat, and it is called the Aether Extreme Light, I think it's called. Anyway, you know the ones, black one. It's got a super high R rating, so thermal rating, 6.7 or something. Which basically means I don't need to have a super insulated ground sheet anymore. I can pretty much just run my window tint, window film now, and this blocks the cold, doesn't matter what time of the year. Now it is bulky, it is heavy, but yeah, super comfortable, pretty durable. I haven't got any holes in it yet, so that's been a good thing. The only thing is it takes up a heat of room. But for the amount of hunting that I've been doing, the amount of hiking I've been doing, that's been awesome. Compared to my my old insulated ultralight, that's miles better. If you're only doing 1 or 2 nights, this is awesome. But if you're going longer, wow, that's next level comfort. Now just going on with that, because I went a bit bigger with the sleeping mat, that sleeping bag's actually only 740 grams in the tall size. It's like 600 and something in a regular. So it is such a light sleeping bag compared to my old one, which was running around about 1 kilo. So the weight difference between the old sleeping bag and my ultralight insulated mat and the heavy duty insulated mat and the new sleeping bag, they're about the same weight. So I'm not sacrificing any weight. It's really just room that I'm sacrificing. So therefore, I struggled most of the year, actually all of the hunting season, with my Hyperlight. I won't say I struggled, but I didn't have any spare room. A Hyperlight Southwest 2400, 40 litres. So it has a 40 litre main tube waterproof section, and then it has about 9 litres of pockets, which are obviously not waterproof because they're just open tops. So they're like 2 sock pockets on the sides and a big one at the back. So what I did when I was in Katoomba, I lashed out and I brought the 4400, which is 70 litres. Now, I didn't really realise just how much more room that actually is. And when I went on the first couple of hunts, I was like, wow, like this is crazy amount of room. So now I've got bucket loads of room and I end up loading it up. So bit of a funny one, because I go on about not carrying too much, but when you got the room, it tends to be what you do. Whereas with the 2400, you run out of room before you get too heavy. But love the pack. Got 2 hikes in it already this year. So 2 personal hunts I did with Glenda. I ran this pack, and yeah, awesome. Extra room for very little extra weight. I think it's like 80 grams heavier than the 2400. So it might be a bit more than that. It's like 100 grams or something. It's nothing. But yeah, anyway, so we've got the 2 packs there running. I'll keep using the 2400 if I'm just doing 1 or 2 nights, maybe up 3 nights. But next year, 2024, all my hunts are going to be 5 days, 4 nights, and longer. So yeah, the bigger pack's going to come in handy there. Cedar Summit, love it, buy it, use it. It just works. I ran the little Ocean Signal PLB1 all this year. Haven't had to use it, thank God for that. Hope I never do. But it's just tiny in size. I don't run any satellite phone or anything like that. I kind of like being away. I hit this button if all things go to shit. Pretty much exclusively ran the whole season with the pre-run O-Light headlamp. Love this thing. It's probably a little bit heavy, maybe, but solid as. I've ran that all this year and no dramas with it. I also have this little Survive Outdoors longer. It's called plasma firelighter. So it's almost like a little taser. It's kind of cool. But, yeah, been running that sort of as well as a backup ciggy lighter, but that does the job. It's also got a little torch in it, so that's kind of cool. Now, my walking poles wouldn't go up the bush without them anymore. Hiking wise, Black Diamond Alpine FLZs. Why? They're aluminium. I've bent these things like bananas in the past, and I've put them in between trees and straightened them and managed to keep using them. I think I'm on about the 4th set. I've got a spare set sitting here, so that clients can borrow them, or if I end up snapping one, I've got a sparey, or I've got 2 spareys. But these managed to get through all this season, and I haven't broken them, so that's kind of cool. But I just love the way they fold up and they're small in your pack. The aluminium, not carbon fibre, so they're not going to splinter on you if you take them past their breaking point. I prefer the aluminium. I think I'd rather be able to straighten them than throw them in the bin. So that's what I run. I run them all the time with hiking now. If you haven't done it, give them a go. They're awesome. I've been asked about this little tripod a fair bit. So it's a Suri. I don't think that's how you say it, but that's how I'm going to say it. S-I-R-U-I. It's an AM225 AU. So 22 means 22mm thick carbon fibre. 5, it has 5 stages. So it goes out relatively long, and they just clamp off like that. I generally don't run that little one out, but yeah, awesome for doing any camera work. Had a few clients shoot off it with the yoke. Weighs about 1 kilo, and it goes with me everywhere. Check them out. They're about $350 or something, but I've been running this for 4 years or something, and nothing on it has let me down. It's all aluminium in here, and carbon fibre. It's got a pretty good ball head on it. It's pretty smooth, but it could be better. But the bigger the ball head, the heavier they are. So it's a bit of a compromise in that. But yeah, awesome thing if you're looking for a tripod. Oh, I'm rattling them off, but here we go. I feel like I'm rambling. If you haven't got some good meat bags, check out these ultralight Argali meat bags. They come in about a set of 5, I think there is. They are awesome. They are almost see-through, but yet the blood does not seem to want to leak through it. People ask me about with the Hyperlight, where do you put meat? I'm like, put it in one of these, just stick it in the bag. Yep, you do get a little bit of blood smear here and there, but God, if you're worried about a bit of blood, I think you're in the wrong game. These bags are awesomely light, so if you're not using them, they're not taking up any, and they're not adding any weight to your pack practically, and they are super compact. So even with the 5 of them, I usually only take a couple. Even with the 5 of them, they're only just a tiny little thing, and they weigh nothing. Get onto them, they're awesome. Yep, I run the Tokes 550mm pot. Could go a bit bigger, but everything that I haven't cleaned it, got a bit of mould in it. 500mm is all I need, so 550mm cups, plenty big enough. Cedar Summit spork, and my little tiny gas cooker is a BRS 3000, which I think there's a couple of Chinese knockoffs. Weighs something like 25 grams, 35 grams or something. It's made out of titanium. It's stupid small. It is not efficient on gas, but it does the job, and it doesn't take up any room, and it adds no weight to your pack practically. I have noticed that the jet foils are very efficient on their gas. Obviously, that system they got underneath their pot it definitely works. That heat sink, whereas these lose a lot of heat to the air. But for the size of them, for the weight of them, yeah, I don't see myself changing anytime soon. With my fork and all that, I always run it on a little clip, because it's nothing worse than losing a fork. So do that. I might leave that out because I'm going to need to clean it. Now I also ran these 3 products from R&M Blades all this year. Loving them. Now that work, what's it called, work sharpening device. So it's got a fine stone, a coarse one, a steel, and a bit of leather for a strop, similar. It goes with me everywhere. It allows you to touch up your knives. Now, if you don't know how to do it in the field, you need to learn at home. Plenty of stuff on YouTube on how to sharpen a knife. This thing has guides for the angles. It's just all about practice, guys. Well, these need a bit of attention too. The little helium, it does nearly everything you need it to do, from gutting fish to getting in around the coronets on a stag, to, you know, reaching in to grab that heart out, cutting out the eye fillets. It's just a handy little size. It's a good little blade, it stays sharp, it touches up really quick. And the Zoe zipper as well, as its name says, it zips them open. Once you've got a good edge on this thing, you find that little sweet spot on the angle. It just opens them up when you're skinning and caping. It's got almost like the full size handle, but the smaller little blade. And yeah, it does get the job done quite good and quickly. Highly recommend getting on to Robert Herbert at R&M Blades. He's a local guy, he employs local people, and let's be honest, we need to support people like that, because without them, we don't have the options that we do. Now, I reckon that is all the gear that I wanted to talk about. So next year, practically booked out. There might be a couple of extra dates pop up early in the year, so keep your eyes and ears open for them. Reason for that is I might be going overseas, but if I don't, I'll have hunts open up, and when I find out if I go, I might be able to book hunts either side of it. Now, I haven't sort of pushed the hunter education courses yet, but they will be up on the website, zebrashunting.com. So it's 4 people now, so basically that's a carload of people, so I can move people around. Having them 5 or more, it was starting to get a bit tricky. So yeah, limited to 4 people. I've adjusted the price this year. It's $13.50 per person. You bring your own camping gear, your own food. We get together up at Eagle Vale and we go out, and it's practically everything that you need to know, done in the field, physically showing you. You can feel, touch, smell, deer sign, how to go about it, hunting techniques. You can ask any questions you want. Basically, the course starts on a Friday, finishes on a Sunday lunchtime. For that whole time, questions. You name them, you throw them at me. It usually leads into a full conversation, which is awesome. I've had awesome feedback from it. So if you're new to hunting, if you know someone that's new to hunting, buy them this for your birthday, Christmas, late Christmas present, whatever. Get on board. There's not going to be a hell of a lot of them, but I might be able to open up some more dates later on if it becomes popular. Don't forget, I've also got the online course that gets really good feedback as well, and it's totally interactive with me through a community forum. Now, what else? I don't know. Next year, looking forward to it. I got a heap of interstate clients this year, next year coming up. A couple of double ups, a couple of mates, father, son. Yeah, so really looking forward to it. Got one repeat, a client that keeps coming with me, so stick around for him. Yep, that's right. We'll finish it there, I think. So have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, stay safe on the roads, have heaps of fun, be jolly, eat too much, get ready for next year. It's going to be a big one.